Hey, everybody, welcome to a Game 6 post-game show right here on the Variety Sports Network. My name is Brandon. I got Aaron and Jimmy with me tonight. My goodness, you get to Game 7 after everything.
Canada.
No kidding.
My home and native lands. I can keep going, but I don't think anybody else wants me to keep going. That's I'm only disappointed of the crowd. Like, come on. Everybody knows what we want. Give us what we want.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about.
The Canadian national anthem?
No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
You're married. You can't talk about it.
Yeah, I got you now. You
could talk about
she actually,
it. Okay.
So it's crazy. Off topic here, really quick. She actually signed like a deal with Playboy or something like that.
I thought that she was thinking about it, but then decided not to.
Oh, I thought I've seen that it's like a for sure thing. Like she actually did the shoot already.
Didn't you see the video where she said to F all the haters because so what? I got drunk and whipped my tits out at an Oilers game. I was like, oh,
right, yeah,
okay. I thought you were happy about that. Why? If you're not happy about it, why would you do it?
I don't know. What do you guys think? What did you think of Game 6, Jimmy?
I am thoroughly surprised by Baby Gretzky. Yeah. Thoroughly surprised because this is a team that's never been able to come back from adversity, and they're getting people are stepping up that you would have never expected. People that everybody counted out already at the beginning of these playoffs. Like Skinner was taken out of net. Yeah. Nurse was absolutely destroyed. Like, it's kind of incredible. I did not expect this out of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people. I mean, at this point, it's almost like they're going to win the cup now. Like, there's no ifs, ands. I don't. You
can't say for sure. Game 7's the biggest crapshoot in history. So unless you're comfortable going to Vegas and putting everything on 21 black, I wouldn't say that it's a for sure thing. But holy crap,
they have all the momentum right now. Absolute all the momentum. In this series right now. Aaron, what was your thoughts on Game 6?
Oilers speed is killing this Panthers team.
Yeah.
It seems like the Panthers, the way they've been playing playoff hockey, the regular season hockey, it's all coming to bite them. They're getting very tired. And Leon Draisaitl is coming alive, and that's not good. They've given them 6 games for Leon Draisaitl to get together. I thought he played pretty well today. He had the assist for Fogle. Yeah. And, it's about 90% chance it's going to be raining oil down in Florida on Monday.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Bob is out of gas, bro. He is out. Like, this whole team is out of gas.
I was going to say, I think that they just look they look out of order. They were really sloppy tonight all over the place. Connor Verhaeghe just was outside of his assists. On he had an assist on Barkov's goal, I believe, tonight. Or was that Game 5? That might have been Game 5. I know he got a point tonight. It's his first point since Game 1. He scored his goal. He did not look good tonight. Not at all. He just kind of all over the place, turned the puck over a lot. I mean, it caused it gave the Oilers their first goal of the game too. So I don't.
Ekman Larson was the only one with the 2 shots for Florida in the first 10, 12 minutes.
They went the first whole period about halfway through the second period. They had about 6 shots on goal tonight's game.
It's something that the Oilers are doing. I mean, because they did the same exact thing to Dallas, but I would say the reason why I don't think it's 90% that Edmonton's going to win the cup, because now there's actual desperation, and that's something that you can't fake. It's a cliche, but Edmonton has been playing with their backs against the wall. Florida hasn't necessarily been doing that. Now, not that it's not an ideal situation, but you have at least that it's not fake anymore. Now it's legit. It's do or die. You figure it out, or we go home for the second year in a row really disappointed. And this one would sting twice as bad.
Yeah,
it would be the absolute. I tried to make the point on our show that we had yesterday with Nico. It to me, this is it's not on the same par, because Florida was not what Golden State was. But when LeBron and the Cavaliers came back against Golden State, that was shocking. I thought I was living in a movie, a simulation. There's no way this happened. And I was listening to the announcers tonight. This is the first time since the 1940s that a team has gone down 3-0 and come back and forced a game 7. I know, like, Brent, I can see why, like, Blues fans, Brandon, you're probably thinking, like, you see a lot of similarities because this is Blues were not 3-0, but they desperation forced game 7, and game 7 was a crapshoot. And they won on Boston's ice. So there's definitely a lot to look for. Like, Oilers fans now, this is gravy. This is the way that they probably want to win a Stanley Cup, because they have to prove that they were able to do all of this, like, go through all of the adversity. This would be a satisfying cup if Edmonton does win. Like, I can't. Yeah. I don't want to just see the catharsis that's let off from the Great White North.
Yeah, it's and again, we talked about it a long time ago in the five, in an episode of the 5-0. We were talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's like, you look at the Eastern Conference teams compared to the Western Conference teams, and it seems like, and I know Florida was up 3-0 at one point in this series, but the Western Conference teams always have that. They just seem to have that little bit extra to kind of boost them to win the cup. And I don't know if we're seeing that again, or if we're just seeing a not so great Florida team. They both teams in it tonight with 21 shots on net, which is very surprising. The fact that Florida had 5-6 shots halfway through the second period. So in you got to give a lot of credit to Stuart Skinner. I mean, a lot of people like Jimmy, like you said, you counted this guy out. Aaron, how impressive has his play been? And then I will say, so I did learn this tonight also, is that he is undefeated in this year's playoffs in games 4, 5, 6, and 7.
5-0.
He's like 10-0. If you count all the playoffs, he's 10-0.
Oh, if we count all the playoffs, yeah.
He's also championships in all of his other spots before he got to the Oilers. So
yeah,
nuts.
I mean, we talked about that game 3. Somebody, I forgot who. I think it was on the 32 Thoughts podcast. They were saying, "Oh, do you think they should take out Skinner, kind of switch it up?" And I was like, "No,
you got to
go. He brought you here for a reason. Yeah, you brought him here for a reason. You believed in him. He was benched for those 2 games against Dallas. Obviously, that helped him out a lot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, he's making save after save after save. And I talked about it the last episode we were on. The Blue Lions helping him out a little bit, but yeah, it seems like the Monstars took over Bobrovsky and gave it to Stuart Skinner. So, well, what did you guys think of that offsides call? Because I don't think it affected that much, but even if they did count it, if it wasn't offside, I still think Edmonton would have won this game with the 2 empty net goals.
When I was watching it, I thought he was onside. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was, but they must have been able to see something that we couldn't see through the TV side of things. I thought he was onside. If it was offsides, it was literally like this much.
Hey, every inch counts, right?
The good news is that there's a report that has to be released. That's what they were saying in the third period also. Since it was a call that overturned the call on the ice, they actually have to go through. There will be a picture. There will be a statement made. The picture that I saw, it does look it is very close. And the game of inches is very real. Like, we talk about it with all professional sports. If you make a split-second mistake, that's going to be the thing that haunts you. And it could very well be that it's a sore spot for me, because as an Avalanche fan, that's like the story of our playoff runs going all the way back to San Jose with the too many men on the ice. We've had a couple calls like this, but what it really showed, like, and I get that you love Paul Maurice for his fieriness and his passion. It was kind of funny to look, because you see on the bench Sam Bennett Maurice is behind Bennett as he's screaming, like, "There's no effing way! There's no effing way! You can't effing call that!" Like, oh shit, this guy is panicking. We're straight up panicking right now. I know that I got a little bit different perspective because I'm not the NHL head coach. He's obviously in his position because he's there. I've looked at a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of reading over the last few years. Stoicism seems to be where the most effective leaders keep themselves, like even kill, never going one way or the other. Look at Knobloch. Knobloch never really gets too high, too low. I talked about it with the Avalanche. You can talk about it last year with Vegas. Like, the coach that doesn't have to do much, like, you don't have to be that animated on the bench, is normally in the better spot. Yeah. So that is a little bit concerning for me. Also, you couldn't steal momentum at all, and you were the way that the series flipped. Like I don't know what I don't know if somebody did something that first bout of travel that's been so difficult. Maybe that was really really effective, but
yeah,
Edmonton's traveled just the same distance.
Yeah, well, I know there was. If I want to say that, I think there was some kind of like delay.
They've had a terrible. It's terrible to travel into Canada, and they had absolute. I think they got in a day later than they were anticipating, so they didn't end up getting their rest day. It was like a day and a half of travel more than they expected. So I get it. You are also all professional athletes making multi-millions of dollars, and this is a brutal tournament, anyways. It's
yeah. And it is, and I will say it is a far travel. I mean, you're literally going from one side of North America to basically the other side. So it's a decent travel.
And nobody said anything in 2011 when the Bruins won against Vancouver. That was just as far.
That was a very long distance as well. Yeah. And by the way, last time Edmonton played in the Stanley Cup final, they were playing Carolina. Carolina is in a hop skip. It's way more than a hop skip and a jump from Edmonton.
It's got to be pretty close to the same distance.
It's very close. Well, actually, because Sunrise is like northern Cuba, so it is a little bit different, but it's close. Like Raleigh's like 7 hours away from Sunrise. I want to say I'm a geography teacher, but it's the summer.
It's close enough. It's close enough.
And my Canadian geography is terrible. I hated sixth grade. Sixth grade history was the worst class.
Like I think Edmonton's like, if you're looking at Alberta, you get British Columbia over here, right? With this little thing.
I could tell you there's 10 provinces. Like that's about all I know.
It's like right there, somewhere in that range, right in the middle. I think. I don't know. I could be off too. I'm just kind of flabbergasted a little bit with the way this series has completely flip-flopped. I mean, the first 3 games it was all Florida. Florida was getting things in the back of the net that any other time of the year they probably weren't. Now it's again flip-flopped, and Aaron and I have talked about puck luck before, and you're seeing the Edmonton Oilers getting that little bit of puck luck at this point in the game. 43 hits for the Florida Panthers tonight, 21 for the Edmonton Oilers. Again, you see the physicality from the Florida Panthers, Aaron, but it's just not producing anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just Paul Maurice's style of hockey. We've seen it with the Winnipeg Jets when he was there. Mm-hmm. We've seen it with Carolina when he was there. So I think I don't know if it was Sam Bennett or if it was Sam Reinhart. One of them was saying that this system is very hard to understand and manipulate and try to get it going. And it's just showing that they've taken such a big toll because we've seen in every series they've been in so far, they're hitting aggressively. They suffocate all their the opposite team's favorite players. And they tried doing that in the first 3 games, and then Edmonton was like, you know what? Vander Kane, get out. You're hurt. Darnell Nurse, take a seat. You're obviously not doing anything on the blue line. They just started just coming at them, speed, and they're not catching up. And I said it last game, post game too, that this defensive unit is brand new with each other, and they're just getting exposed by the speed of Edmonton. I mean, Zach Hyman had a great shorthanded goal, and it's all because I believe that was the Carter Verhaeghe where he did an awful pass in the middle.
And Barkov didn't chase him down.
And Barkov didn't chase him down. I'm sorry, that was the Adam Henrique goal, I think. And no one chased him down, and we saw it too in Game 5 with the Matthew Tkachuk where he saved it, but Ekman Larson thought, it's going to be an empty netter. I'm just going to pull back. So, I mean, they're just kind of just getting lackadaisy. They're just getting exposed.
Yeah.
It seems like it means a lot more to Edmonton. Like it's a cliche. It's a cliche because Canada does love hockey. And obviously, like it's a totally unfair statement to say that they want it more, but that's just what the play on the ice looks like. Mm-hmm. And I have respect for Matthew Tkachuk. I can't stand the guy because of what he was and what he is. That's basically what he's there for. But that was a hell of a play. And that should have been rewarded. And there's a whole bunch of mentality that goes into this. because the mentally tougher team is always going to win. And right now, Edmonton has all the mental toughness. If I was Matthew Tkachuk and I just busted my ass, knowing everybody knows that he's hurt, like he's going to go into some kind of rehab program, he's going to have a surgery. I think he's been hurt for 2 years. It's incredible what he's been able to do over the past 2 seasons with this Florida Panthers team. It's got to be just mentally draining. Like I just did all of this on a blown hip, and you guys aren't even going to do it. Like nobody followed me. Everybody just expected me to miss. Are we playing to win, or are we playing not to lose here? Are we trying not to get embarrassed? Because now this is the most embarrassing situation that could possibly happen. We were up 3-0, and we're about to get rope-a-doped in our own building. Like this is the biggest rope-a-dope since Muhammad Ali, since Rocky versus Clubber Lang. Like that's exactly what it was. I know Knobloch's in the locker room after game 3. Like, what are you? We have a plan. I know what I'm doing. Know what I'm doing. Trust me. Don't tell me what you think. Go out there and do it, McDavid. Eye of the tiger. And McDavid has the eye of the goddamn tiger right now.
Yeah, that's something that they talked about. That McDavid has said before that, especially like regarding their power play, which has been a lot better in the last 3 games as well. They take a little bit of time to figure out how they need to adjust to that, to who they're playing. I'm not going to say that they got lucky that they didn't get swept at the same time by waiting so long, but it seems like they might have figured out the Florida Panthers
every series, because they even looked like not that they still dominated LA, but at one point it did look like LA was going to be able to come and make this a hell of a series. So there is something to that. There is something that this Oilers team has proven. And there's been a couple times throughout the regular season too. They go on 4 or 5 game losing streaks. They follow it up with 8, 10 game winning streaks. When you've practiced that, not necessarily that you practice it, but when you have practice in doing that, this is where those kinds of things pay off. And I think 2 years ago when they got absolutely blown out in the Western Conference Final, not winning a game, that has something to play into it. They know exactly how hard it is to get back to where they are. And if you let this slip through your fingers, there is no guarantee that Draisaitl's coming back. There is no guarantee the year after that Connor comes back if you don't get this done. I heard some people say that it's probably more likely Draisaitl stays if they don't win it, because maybe they accomplish their mission if they do get it done. But everybody knows what's going to happen after. Like, you have one more game to leave it all out on the line on both sides. And I think that's going to be like the fans win out of this one ultimately, because we had such a terrible NBA finals to talk about. We have so long until any meaningful football starts again. Sorry to your Battlehawks, by the way. I was rooting for them because I didn't really want San Antonio in there, but they would have gotten stomped by Birmingham too. So
yeah, it wouldn't even been close. It would have been I wouldn't say it wouldn't have been close. I think it would have been a little bit better of a game.
Birmingham's Birmingham might be able to win the NFC South.
Good gosh. Yeah. They're yeah. I don't know how they managed to continue to do that, but yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'll give them their credit where credit is due there.
Aaron's never been on a podcast with me. This is my specialty. Yeah. I get things off the rails. Brandon I don't know how much Brandon likes it. Darren thinks it's hilarious.
It's fine. I'm for it. Aaron, you look at the Florida power play. What do they got to do to just kind of get things back in their grasps, I guess?
Score. It sounds so stupid, but they have to score because they have all these guys that were really good on the power play. Carter Verhaeghe was amazing against my Rangers in the East Conference Finals with it. Sam Reinhart was amazing on the power play for them in each conference final. So they just need to score. Just keep shooting at the puck. And that's kind of really it, because I don't really have much else to say about that, because they have all these guys who are so good on the power play that for some reason that this Edmonton team is just suffocating them. They're doing the complete opposite of what the Panthers are doing to them. So I don't really know. Just score. Just keep shooting at the puck, I guess.
Yeah, there's a little comment. Is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who was bought out of his contract from Vancouver, is quarterbacking the top line power play for a Stanley Cup final team.
Yeah,
in this year.
Yeah,
that might something. I mean, I know that was a change, just a recent change. From my understanding, it was, I think it's the first time that he's been on the power play unit, at least the top line power play unit in the series so far.
This is the series not to talk about like how it's insane to see people. I thought the same thing when I saw Matthias Ekholm holding the puck behind Edmonton's net. I was like, oh, that's right. I was almost looking at number 2, like, is that Duncan Keith? Is he back some? Did he get reinstated somehow? There's no way. That can't be him. No, and Corey Perry getting the goal the other night. I hate that guy too.
Huge.
That's the one thing going against Edmonton. You have Corey Perry on your team.
Yeah.
Corey Perry gets you very close a lot of the times. Doesn't necessarily work out.
He's been very close before with multiple teams.
Every single team in the last however many years, right? Except for the year before. That's the only time.
Yeah.
5 out of the last 6 years. Because I remember, like, that was I could not stand him. I don't know who I hated more in that playoffs, but by the end of it with Tampa, he was just in my he was in my kitchen.
No, yeah, it's just the way things are, like with the way the series is, and you like the comment says, you have Oliver Ekman-Larsson as your top power play line for the Florida Panthers, and
that doesn't help them because he's a lefty. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't understand that. But Brand Montour hasn't been that great for about a year and a half. I feel like he's still kind of hurt.
He hasn't played up to the performance level of being on the power play, and that was a guy that they were definitely relying on going into things. Like he was, they thought that they had all the depth on the blue line. They had depth out the walls. Like, oh, we're gonna insert Lombard and watch out. Well, yeah. What did that do?
Nothing.
Like, you guys lost 2 games in a row, so you're in the same exact spot. Like, where is this depth that we talked about? I thought you weren't all that injured this year. I thought last year was the year that you were injured.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard.
We're just running the same excuses back now because you're in a bad spot. Like, not to sit here and throw stones because my team hasn't made it past the second round since we won a Stanley Cup, but at least we won it. Like, we took care of business when we got there because, damn it, that would have sucked if we lost to Tampa and then went 2 rounds and out in the next 2 years. Like,
well, I mean, we've done the same thing. So
at least you guys have seen a cup, all right? Sheesh.
Yeah, you get it. I had something I had to talk about. I had a thought in my head that I was going to ask, and it just went poof. I don't remember what it was now.
I have something that I'm thinking about. What is this playoff, kind of this whole playoff run in this series in general? Like, do you need to pay a top, like a high-end goalie, or can you win? Like, your team, as long as they believe in the guy between the pipes, it looks like things can work out. Because Bobrovsky was great throughout this year, but all the conversation about him throughout his entire career has been like, when is he going to take the next step? Skinner has been pulled. I don't know how many more times I'm going to say it. Teams were being successful this year with not having like a Patrick Waugh or I can't think of Dominic Hasek. Like, guys weren't having Marty Brodeur in the pipes this year and still being very successful. So what does that kind of show? Like, do you guys think that shows anything in the way the game is today now?
I think if you want to compare it to anything, you're gonna look at how it's compared to the NFL running back market. Is that you don't need? I mean, hell, like the Blues. There's always rumors every year that the Blues are going to get rid of Jordan Bennington.
You guys should do that. I would actually like you a little bit more if you did.
It's one of those things like, oh well, he's past what we needed him for. You look at the same thing at the NFL running back side of things. It's like, you gave us 1,000-yard season.
This one's broken. Bring me a new one.
You got us to the Super Bowl, but we're gonna go with this younger guy here who's gonna cost us a lot less money. So I think if you're gonna compare, that's where you kind of compare things with. But I don't know.
I mean, the Devils are trying that with Markstrom. He hasn't had really a good season like 3 years.
No,
and they think he's like the missing piece with Jake Allen over there in net. Well, I think it just depends on the team, though. I mean, you look at like a Boston. I mean, Jeremy Swayman carried them into the second round, and they really weren't that great of a team. I'll keep saying until the cows come home. Igor for my Rangers, he pretty much carried us into the East Conference Finals with his performances. I think it's just how you construct your team. I mean, Cam Talbot in for the Kings. Listen, he's not in New York anymore. He's not even in Edmonton.
Well, they got Darcy Kemper now. They're
cool.
They're going to win the Western Conference next year.
The 2022 Avalanche in front of him, or because that was the only season that he really looked like that dominant of a goaltender, right? So,
yep. And the Avalanche tried it. They tried getting Georgiev because they were like, "Oh, he was good for the Rangers." Went over, thought he could be Darcy Kemper, and
it's the other Russian that we're having issues with. Georgiev, I'm going to give a pass because he bounced back, but no, we're in our own circle of hell, and we have a bunch of friends that also have Avalanche podcasts because we try and reach out in the community, and they're all like, "Oh, there's no way they can't cut him. They can't get Val's coming back. There's no way." Like, no. I'm not giving away Nico's source, but I know who's Nico's source, and I know that he's never been wrong about anything that he's told us. It's over for him, and that's a terrible situation. But yeah, no, Georgiev was you guys picked the right goalie. I don't know what else, but Georgiev wouldn't have been terrible for the Rangers if Igor wasn't around.
It was also Benoit Hilaire because he's an amazing goaltenders coach. He retired this year, but I think everyone thinks, oh, these guys are so good, like the Cam Talbot, Antti Raanta, Georgiev. Then they're like. They go off to different teams and they're like, ugh. They're like really mid.
Yeah.
We have no money, so getting Georgiev for $3.5 million for 3 years, I was like, yeah, we'll work around it.
It works. Yeah.
It's like
the Avalanche have a really good team though. That's the thing. So they thought, oh, we did it with Darcy. We could do it with Georgiev, and it kind of worked, just a little.
I feel like it's more not having a Francouz because Francouz carried us in that playoff run. Being able to step in for Darcy when he did. We don't have a number 2 goaltender, and I hope Justus Annunen proves that he's going to be what he was a little bit this year, but he's played 20 games. And
Hallmark's available.
Yeah. We don't have any money. And we have I feel like we're going to move Josh Manson. Like we're going to have to redo our blue line. We've been saying F them picks for a while, so I'm a little bit nervous about this offseason, not going to lie.
Yeah. I'm curious what the Blues are, what the Blues are going to do. I know there's talks that they're going to look at trading Brandon Saad, and
there's always space, man.
There's always the Jordan Kyrou stuff that comes into play.
But he's the fastest skater in the league.
I know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think they should get rid of him, but that's just my fan.
He can't score goals. He's got
I know.
He's got stone hands.
Yeah. But he did lead the team in points. So it's tough.
Secondary assists don't count.
You're in a pickle. Your hands are kind of tied.
That's like Johnny Gaudreau leading points on the Blue Jackets.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Speaking of that, you're in this is again off topic, but what do you think of Barclay going to San Jose when it didn't sound like he really wanted to go to San Jose?
Hey, listen, it's not in the rules that you can't waive someone and have a team pick up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. In the next CBA, it'll probably happen, but strong move from Drury. We need cap space. And for a guy who only performs in May, it doesn't cut it for a fourth liner, making $3.86 million. So, right. It also shows, too, in this Rangers team, like, listen, they got rid of Barclay Goodrow. For this, we'll do it for anyone else. And, again, I've said on my Blue Shirts Banner podcast and CPNY Sports, like, if no one wants to show up and when it really matters the most in the playoffs, you guys can go. It doesn't matter to me. I'm tired of seeing this where we get so close and then gone.
Yeah. You look at we started talking about playoffs, and like the big thing that even they were talking about tonight on the broadcast was Edmonton's depth and how they basically boosted their depth at the deadline, getting guys like Adam Henrique. It's showing its importance right now, don't you think? A little bit, Jimmy?
It's always the team that does the best at the deadline normally goes on and has the best run. And that's been the last 2 Stanley Cup champions because Vegas did a hell of a lot at the deadline last year and Colorado made all the right moves 2 years ago. So it's a skill. And I think Florida thought they did enough. Like they did enough with the team that they had from last year and they were banking more on that it was just injuries. It's strange to think, but there's probably a lot of NHL GMs that see the product that they put out on the ice, and they can't see the negative because it's kind of human nature. Like, you want to see the best in what you built. Like, you're too bogged down in all of these details that we can't move on from him. He's done this, and this. We have this much money tied up into him. All you're doing is running it. Like, all it takes is one. Like, it is a business at the end of the day. Yep. So for Goodrow, it's not my fault that your lawyer put a no trade clause instead of a no move clause.
Yep.
The difference of one word allowed me to be able to release you, and then, oh yeah, that team we were going to trade you for anyway now gets to pick you up on whatever contract that they want to do that for.
Yeah.
Like, sorry about it, but that's the way this thing works. When you're dealing with this amount of money, nobody cares about your feelings.
No.
Feelings.
Drury helped him out. He gave him that cash. Like, he should be grateful that Drury signed him for that much. He wasn't worth that much at the time.
Yeah, it's just people make it too personal, and it ain't personal. Like, none of this is really all that personal, but it feels like it. And when you're a fan of a team, it feels even worse. No, you are not as smart as the GM that sits there and does this for a living and gets paid handsomely for it.
Yep.
As good as you are at NHL, like, oh yeah, your Chell franchise has won 15 Stanley Cups in a row, and you've been able to manipulate and circumvent the cap. Like, oh, you're Las Vegas 3.0. Oh, here we go, long-term IR over here. No, that's not how things work.
No.
And what's good about Edmonton is they knew that, hey, we can't just win with Drysdale and McDavid, because they've seen the last 2 years as they get destroyed by teams like Vegas and stuff like that. And then they picked up a Corey Perry, who's good in the playoffs. He is an agitator. He knows what he's doing. He has 54 playoff goals for a reason. Won a cup, has the experience. Yep. And also, too, with the Adam Henrique. I mean, I think the most experience he's really has with the Devils team when he was a rookie in 2012. And he saw that Kings team, and they shellacked them in 6. But
was he not at Anaheim when they went to the Western Conference Finals against Nashville? Was he?
I'll look it up. You guys keep talking. I'll look it up.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I thought he was still with the Devils at that time. I thought he came over to Anaheim like 2-3 years ago, but I could be wrong.
I mean, you look at guys like Corey Perry and Adam Henrique, but you also have to look at guys like Zach Hyman, who they picked up.
Connor Brown.
And Connor Brown, yeah. Warren, I don't want to say Warren Fogle.
He did not get to Anaheim until 2017, 2018.
So it was the following season?
Well, did Anaheim do anything? And
they went to the Western Conference Finals against Nashville in 2016.
Oh, it was like 3 years. It was 3 years after then.
3 years after that.
Yeah.
Dang. So never mind. Well, yeah, never mind then.
He has a total of 43 playoff games.
All with the Devils?
No, just in his NHL career. And it's 24 with the Devils. And he had a 4-game run, it looks like, with Anaheim, and then the 15 that he has with Edmonton right now.
Gotcha. Good for him.
Producer on the fly.
Good for him. Good for him. But no, I mean, yeah, you look at guys like Zach Hyman, who's come on for the Edmonton Oilers this year.
McLeod.
How great was that? Toronto just let him go. They were like, "Yeah, we don't need you. Get out of here."
Yeah, we don't need you to stand in front of the net and deflect things past goalies. Like, no, we don't need that.
Austin Matthews, come on, we don't need you.
Toe drag release. Come on now.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, hey, let's see. What's your predictions for Game 7? Because now it's huge. It's a big Game 7. Because if you're Florida, you're like, shit, we're gonna become one of the worst stories in playoff history ever. It's like 101 chance of a team coming back to win the Stanley Cup after being down 3-0. So what's your prediction for Game 7, Jimmy?
Man, there's so much. Like, if Florida has the leaders that can kind of calm everybody down and nobody panics, they definitely have the ability. Like, Game 7 is 50-50 for a reason. Yeah. The stuff that I've been – like, the way that McDavid has handled himself in this playoff run, and especially in this final series, not on the ice, but when he's off the ice, I've always kind of looked at him as like a goofball, like a Russell Wilson type in the NHL, like total cheese, not really worried about – like total – just robot. He still has that dead behind the eyes, robot, glazed over look, but it's much more like you know, they say psychopaths and geniuses have like one or two genes that are off, and that's what it kind of seems like. He's staring through the reporters. We're gonna drag him back to Edmonton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hearing you say that scares me pretty bad. That's like saying, no, I don't want to deal with that. And then he's like, you let me get back to game 7. You didn't finish me off in these last 3 games.
Yep.
Oh, you thought that play was cool to Corey Perry, where I skated through all 6 of your guys while screaming "we" on the way to the net?
Yeah.
Unless Florida is able to just restabilize themselves and prove that they are a championship team, it's very hard to say anything other than Edmonton right now, but I've been a mush all throughout the playoffs. So for the fact that I would like to grow our listenership in Canada, I will say that, and listen, I said I was a mush before this. Florida's going to win on home ice because they're going to snap out of it, and Paul Maurice is going to stop panicking.
Yeah.
There's a very high likelihood that I am wrong, and I'm having to eat my words by the next time you listen to the Far End of the Bench podcast, which I hope everybody does from this show. But that's kind of where I'm sitting. Like, I don't want to be the reason why Edmonton loses because I finally get on their bandwagon. So I'm going to say that Florida wins, and I have to unfortunately deal with Matthew Chuck being a Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you think's going to happen? What's your thoughts?
I said like after game 1, Oilers in 7 when the Panthers demolished them, and I said it last episode that we did here of the game 5 recap. The Panthers are done, man. They're panicking. We saw it today. Their heads are down. They literally just lost a 3-0 lead. Like, Oilers are coming. I think McDavid's gonna have a game. I mean, we saw in game 5, he had that goal that nobody else could do in the league. He had that amazing pass that no Panthers defenseman wanted to hit him on and pass it to Hyman. So I think he's going to have like a 3-point, 4-point game somehow. Oilers win 5-3 in Florida, take the cup, and no matter what, McDavid's Conn Smythe. No matter what.
You don't give it to Stuart Skinner?
No.
Are you kidding? The NHL finally gets to put Connor McDavid on the Stanley Cup. There is no way in hell.
No way. Man. He's the best player in the league no matter what. They have to capitalize on. No.
Man.
No.
That's tough.
If Stuart Skinner wins it, he should submit it to Connor McDavid.
Yeah. That's fair.
If he's smart, like if he understands what's going on, he would know. I'm trying to figure out because he was so close to that postseason record for.
I don't think did he get any points tonight. That's what I was looking for too. See if he had any points.
No,
McDavid didn't. No.
He'd have to have a 6-point game to be able to get it because I think the record is 41. So
he's at 38.
He's at 34.
34.
He's at 38.
What's he at 38 then?
Postseason. Oh no, he's at 42 points.
42 points.
34 assists. That's what I was looking at. He's at 42 points. I think he needs three points in game 7 to be able to either tie it or go one ahead. It's like it's that close. And the fact that it's another Oilers guy kind of pisses me off. But it is something special to watch. Like you do have to kind of take a step back, like what we talked about, detach from the details. Yeah, he doesn't play for my team, and I'm pissed off that my team and the team that I was going to adopt in the Eastern Conference, the Rangers, are no longer there because I was gonna jump on the bandwagon if they made it past. That guy is so special. I don't know if I've seen a player as good at his sport. I don't know if I've seen that level of talent.
Yeah. He's like our versions of like Lemieux and Gretzky had like a baby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, if you look at it, we've had probably 3 of the best NHL players that we've seen in a while with Crosby, Ovechkin, and now Connor McDavid. And
Connor's like the biggest, like the closest to Gretzky I think we've seen.
Yes. Well, and you get the young guys like what's the kid's name from Chicago? I'm forgetting his name.
Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard, You already
Corey Perry
saw.
slept with his mom. That's why he's on Edmonton right now.
You are correct. Well, I wouldn't say you're correct, but
That is correct.
That is pretty close to what I understand happened there as well. There was a
Nico said that he was going to move to a Canadian market. And I was like, if Corey Perry's banging his mom in Chicago, he's not moving to a Canadian market. There's no way. Gunnar Bedard's not doing that to himself.
No. I'm gonna stick with my guns too. I'm gonna stick with the Florida, and Florida gets the win, and Matty Tkachuk gets his cup. I know I have to stick with it at this point. I can't switch it up now. As much as
where's his brother rumored to be traded? Because Brady, there's rumors that Brady's not going to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate Brady as much as I hate Matthew for whatever reason.
I don't think it's going to happen because unless it's literally a 1-for-1 swap with Kyrou, or they dump off like Torrey Krug and like 5 other guys and get rid of a top prospect and as well. But from my understanding, Ottawa wants guys who can play now. So you trade away Torrey Krug, you trade away Jordan Kyrou, and I don't know, maybe just give him Brandon Saad for the heck of it.
Rangers have better players than Blues.
Bolster up your team a little bit with some Brady Tkachuk, but we'll see what happens. It's not that far away.
If he goes to the Blues, I am full public enemy number 1 of the Tkachuk family. Like it's Hatfield and McCoy levels of pettiness.
Yeah.
I will not hesitate when any of them have a -6 next to their name. I'm going to have a parade in the street. I'm going to go around. Like, remember those graduation parades during COVID? I'm just going to be driving my truck around the neighborhood like, the Tkachuk brothers suck at hockey.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's a nostalgia thing to have a Tkachuk on the Blues again, which I get it, but at the same time, you don't want to put yourselves in a contract buying like you already have with the likes of Torrey Krug and stuff just to have a Tkachuk on the team. But it's what it is. Again, we'll see what happens. I hope that's not the case. I hope they just kind of ride things out. They're only 6 points away from the playoffs this past year, so I don't think I think they give some of the younger guys we have an opportunity to come up and play. Really excited about Dalibor Dvorsky. I think he's going to be a very solid player, along with Snuggerud, as long as they don't decide to trade him for Brady Tkachuk. But we'll see. We'll see. If that happens, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. I won't lie. Yeah.
I'm already disappointed that we're down to one more hockey game.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to transition to CFL football this quick.
Yeah, we're lucky we got this far, to be honest.
That is true.
Yeah.
And the Olympics are coming up, so the Olympics will add something in and we'll be able to talk about it. But man, I don't know if they need to change the sports calendar completely, but this feels like there should be a better way. We shouldn't have to deal with a month and a half of nothing.
They've dragged this one out. I mean, I've like watching some of like the previous Stanley Cup finals and stuff and whatnot, and like they ended like a week ago.
Well, yeah, this is I can't remember how many year anniversary of Florida getting swept by Colorado.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to compete with the NBA. That's why, because they're on ESPN.
Yeah.
That's they should just switch all the way over to TNT. TNT is so much better than the ESPN broadcasts.
Or go back to NBC. Those are way better.
Better at Game 7 than Game 4. Like it, go Oilers. Fair enough.
We got a lot of Canucks, eh?
Yeah. A
lot of people enjoying the Canadian maple syrup. Yeah, in the I got the sun stayed up. It's still up currently because they're in the same time zone as me. But
it's still up. 9:45.
Yeah. They said that it stays up till midnight in the summer because Edmonton's so far north that they're like standing on the North Pole, which is why nobody lives there. Why everybody hates their life when they do live there. Why we want to flash your boobs on the Jumbotron so that you can finally move out of Edmonton.
Use 6 months of darkness. It's fine. Yeah.
It's very similar to living in Alaska, is what I've been told.
That's fantastic.
Except the minus 90-degree wind chill and all of that. Your car door freezes shut. Like, I guess I'm sleeping in the van overnight. Yeah, Sweetie, I can't come into the house, eh?
And you got the Mounties, so that works.
Stupid Mounties.
Yeah.
That's like the Canadian FBI. That's like their badass division.
Yeah, my wife was asking, she's like, why is the guy, who's the person in the red? I was like, oh, that's Canadian Mountie. Like that, you don't want to mess with them. They'll mess you up. You don't want to mess with those guys.
Federal agents shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
I'm sure the guy from New York knows what I'm talking about.
You don't want to mess with the Canadian with the Mounties. They don't. Yeah. We'll wrap things up here. Make sure you check out why you're all still here. Jimmy over at the far end of the bench. Him and Nico every Wednesday night, right?
Thursdays far for the summer. We'll figure it out. We've been doing live shows, which has been a lot of fun. Yeah. And I think Nico's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with them. But like Wednesday, Thursdays, normally when we drop, I might put something else out because I'm bored during the summer.
Right.
Teaching life,
You can do summer school. That's what I'm doing.
I'm not doing summer school. I'm driving a lawnmower and a tractor. Like, I'm getting away from people. I just put my headphones on. I put on whatever podcasts or I've been listening a lot to the Kendrick Drake beef recently, like the songs back and forth, because that's fun for me.
That really just escalated this past week with his show at the LA.
That show was awesome. I've never seen a public execution before. Yeah. Never seen that. And the dude started the song. Yeah. But nobody cared. No. That was also hilarious. I know that this is a hockey show, but variety sports, we talk a lot about basketball. I wish I could have came on last night with the double-double guys or whenever they were on. But LeBron getting told by his wife, honey, no, Russ is up there because he grew up with these guys. You're from Akron. Come back here. Those are legit. You can't dance on the stage with those guys right now. No, get your ass over here.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, you can you can catch Aaron on the Blue Shirt Banters whenever it comes back around during the Ranger season, and also right here on the 5-hole, which will probably have a free agent special. I'd imagine we'd almost have to. It's right around the corner. It's only like a week and a half away at this point of the year, which is nuts too. But we'll be back for our last game of the season. Post-game show.
No matter what. Last game of the year, Brent. Can't hold anything back now.
Yeah.
That's right.
You gotta go for it. So we'll be back on Monday night for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals right here on the 5-hole on Variety Sports Network. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it out to everybody you know, and we will see you Monday night.